Hello everyone and welcome back to another video with Exercise for All. Today we're going to be focusing on what's in the newsletter, and that's 2 of the balancing exercises. So we are going to be standing up today, so before we start what I'd like for you to do is to get your walking frame in front of you ready, and of course have a nice sturdy chair like I've got here just to be placed behind you, okay, just in case. So without further ado, you've probably had a chance to look through the newsletter and see those 2 balancing exercises. So we are going to have to stand up. Now before we do, what I want you to do is get into that habit, that routine of just doing a few leg swings before you actually stand up. Okay, we want to just get those legs moving so we can start to warm up the muscles, get the blood circulating around our body. And this is something that you can just do anyway. If you're about to stand up and start walking somewhere, whether it's 1 minute or 10 minutes of walking, it's good to get into that routine, that habit of doing this. So just swinging your legs, trying to get them nice and straight, okay, so up, straight at the knee, and that's going to get your blood pumping around your body, within your legs, get your blood circulating. Okay, so we want to prevent any stiffness in the joints as well. Now, we're going to be using our knees and of course our ankles to help stabilise us. Now let's just move our feet around like so. Okay, so like you're drawing a circle with your toes, you're going all the way around, clockwise, anti-clockwise, and try to make that circle as big as you possibly can. So you're really utilising that joint, okay? Let's use the other foot. So do spend a couple of minutes on this, not this particular exercise, but just this little warm-up routine before you stand up. It'll be really helpful for you, because sometimes, anti-clockwise by the way now, sometimes we can stand up and get out of those chairs just a little bit too quickly. Our body isn't quite ready, especially if we've been sedentary or sitting down for 1 or 2 hours. It's really important we just try and loosen these muscles, these joints up, okay? So we feel a little bit more supple. Right, bring one of your knees up, just bring it in nice and tight if you can. So we're giving these quadriceps, the muscles on top of our leg here, our thigh, and also around by our hip flex. So we're giving that a really good stretch by bringing it in like so, okay? Just to show you from the side, this is what it looks like. I'm going to use the other leg now. Aim to hold each stretch for at least 10 seconds, even longer if you can. The higher and the tighter you bring it in, the more you're going to feel it. Okay, slowly down. Fantastic. Right, we're ready to get on with one of the exercises. Now, I'm going to have this chair behind me, like all of you should have a chair behind you as well. And just imagine that I've got my frame in front of me. Okay, but of course I haven't got anything here because 1, I don't really need one, 2, I wouldn't want it to get in the way of the video, okay? So, I've got my frame in front of me, I've got my feet nice and close together, sort of shoulder width apart, so there's a small gap between them, and I'm just going to bring 1 foot off the ground and try to hold it there. Now, if you can try to do this for 10 seconds, that's great. Do hold onto your frame, you're using your frame as a guide only, so you're not leaning forwards on your frame at all. You're just holding onto it with your hands just in case you feel a little bit wobbly. You can use that as a 3rd place of support, okay? So you've got your 2 legs, of course only 1 foot at the moment. Okay, I'm going to bring that down, so I've now got 2 bases of support. Your frame is your 3rd, okay? So we're bringing the other foot up. I've now only got 1 base of support, but you have got that frame. So hold on to it. Hold that position, so you're bringing your foot off the ground, bringing your knee up slightly, and the longer you can hold that, the better. So you might feel a little bit wobbly, but this is really, really good for your balance. You're trying to stay focused on just remaining on 1 leg, so you're strengthening those muscles all the time. You're thinking of ways in which how you can try to balance yourself better, in which your body and your brain is communicating to try and improve. Right, I'm going to bring that foot down. So that was quite a long time. Now, we're going to move on to the next exercise. We will come back to that one. Do have a little seat, have a little rest if you want to, but I'm going to go straight into this next one. Holding onto that frame, we're going to bring 1 foot out and then in, okay? So try not to swing it out and in like that. Let's try to move it out and then in slowly. And when you're doing that, you might need to just lean to the side slightly to counterbalance your weight. So I'm going to go with the other foot. As you can see, I'm leaning to the right slightly. So there's better balance on this leg and then in. Now if you're finding that too difficult, what you can do is just place your foot to the right or the left on the floor and back in. So on the floor and in. So that's going to be probably quite a lot easier And that's a good place to start. And then once you get the hang of that, of course, you can just go that little bit further, out and in, okay? And of course, raising your foot off the ground, like so. Okay, right, I'm gonna sit down. So we've done 2 of the exercises so far. We're going to repeat those just so we get them down to a T. We do them really well, we perfect them, and we get the technique spot on. So we'll do it once more. So when you're ready, we've done our little warm-up already, so our legs should be feeling fine. Up we get, holding onto your frame, that base of support, and lifting one foot off the ground. Okay, if you can only hold that for a couple of seconds before returning, that's fine. If you can hold it for a little bit longer, do try to do so. Okay, down, up. Again, I can feel myself leaning a little bit to try and counterbalance. Okay, good. Right, the next one is where our feet go outwards. So I'm going to go to my right first. There we are. And in, left, and in. Try and do this as slowly as possible. That's the key thing here. Out, and in, out, and in. Fantastic. Right, now we're going to do a third exercise, so something a little bit different. Now, this one, I'm going to move my chair out of the way just so I've got space to do it, but make sure you still have got your chair behind you, okay? Make sure there's someone with you, providing you with a little bit of assistance if you need it. Now, of course, when we're walking, whether you've got a walking frame or a walking stick, of course, there's a slight bend in our knees all the time, so there's an element of strength that we need with these muscles up here, which is why we focus on these muscles so much. Now, we're going to really overemphasize the strength that we recruit in these muscles. We're going to basically mimic a walking action by taking a step forwards with your frame in front of you, a slight bend of the knee, pushing yourself back up and returning. The other foot, a slight bend of the knee, push yourself back up and return. So we're not leaving the chair, it's still behind us, okay? Forwards, bend, and then back, okay? So as soon as you leave that position, you're having to work your balance. We're now working these muscles. We're overemphasizing the recruitment process of these muscles here. So a slight bend, you can push back up and then return to your original spot. So try to do that about 5 times on each leg. This is a really, really good exercise to do, because when we're walking, of course, we're just walking forwards like so, and there's not much of a bend. So if we can really get this down to a T, where we're focusing on that bend, the recruitment of the muscles, they're going to get a lot stronger. And of course, there's an element of balancing as well as we go down and we're leaving that leg behind, okay? So forwards, frame in front of you at all times, bend your knee, push back up. You don't have to go too low, okay? Of course, the lower you go, the harder it's going to be to really push yourself back up. So don't do that. It's a very, very slight bend, like so. And back to your original position. A slight bend and then back. Okay, so this is strength and balance coupled together, this exercise. Come forwards, a bend and back. I'm starting to pick up the pace on this a little bit now. You just go at your own pace. There's no reason to go quickly on this one at all. So having stability on that base of support using your frame, bending the knee and back. So 3 exercises there. Hope they've been useful for you. Quick recap, just remember, the first one was lifting your foot off the ground, the second one was lifting your foot out, and the third one was bringing your foot forwards, okay? So you might recognise that when you do a balancing exercise, there has to be an element of trying to give yourself a little bit of a chance to come off balance, okay? You have to bring one leg off the floor, out or forwards, okay? So you really have to rely on the other foot to balance yourself. So thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's about 5 or 10 minutes, a good balancing one for you this week. And I think what we'll do next time is return to some seated exercise for you. So thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next video.